right, the quadratic formula advanced question. We're going to have some roots that involve imaginary numbers. So what we have is we're finding the roots of this quadratic. So remember, the roots are the zeros. We're looking for the solutions to the equation x squared minus 4x plus 5 equals 0. So we're going to identify a is 1. It's a coefficient of x squared. B is -4. C is 5. We're going to calculate our discriminant, which is our b squared minus 4ac. That's going to be -4 squared minus 4 times 1 times 5. That is 16 minus 20, which is -4. Again, you can use the calculator. We'd have -4 squared minus 4 times 1 times 5, and we get -4. So we plug numbers into the quadratic formula, which is our -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So we do the opposite of -4, the negative -4, plus or minus the square root of, here's our discriminant, -4, all over 2 times 1, because a was 1. All right, negative of -4 is 4. Square root of -4, let's simplify that off to the side. Square root of -4 is I times the square root of 4. That's 2i. So I can replace the square root of -4 with the 2i. So we have that. Now we are going to simplify this. We need to do that. So I can take a 2 out of the 4. I can take a 2 out of the 2i. So we have 2 plus or minus 2i, or if you need to write it as two separate solutions, it's 2 plus I and 2 minus I. And there we have it. Okay, we're going to do a second example. We have the quadratic function that we're trying to find the roots for. In other words, we need to find the zeros of the function. So we need to solve that equation and find the values of x that will make y equal to 0. So again, a, b, c. It's a terrible b. Still a terrible b. But that's okay. B squared minus 4ac, our discriminant, is going to be 2 squared minus 4 times 3 times 5. That's going to be 4 minus 4 times 3 is 12, times 5 is 60. So we have -56 for that. Again, you can test it out on the calculator. We have 2 squared minus 4 times 3 times 5. -56. Okay, so plugging numbers into the quadratic formula, we do the opposite of b, the negative of b, plus or minus the square root of our -56, all over 2 times a. This time we get a 6 in the denominator. Let's break down that 56. We're going to take the if we don't need to simplify, well, we do need to simplify one step. We need to take that square root of -56 and make it I times the square root of 56. And then 2 times 3 is 6. If we don't need to simplify any further, then we're done here. But if we need to simplify, we can break down the 56. 56 divided by 2 is 28. 28 divided by 2 is 14. 14 divided by 2 is 7. All right, I have a pair of 2's that I can bring out. So x equals -2 plus or minus. And that 56, I can bring out a 2. And then the 2 times 7 is still underneath the radical. And we have that. Now I can reduce that by a factor of 2. And so what I would have is -1 plus or minus I times the square root of 14 over 3. And if I have to write them separately, I would write them as -1 plus separately, -1 plus I times the square root of 14 over 3, and -1 minus I times the square root of 14 over 3. And those would be my simplified solutions.